Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Onto a topic which is very different. Okay, so this is Paginated Reports and how they work and what they do, and we're going to create one in 10 minutes. And so the difference between Power BI reports and Paginated Reports is Paginated is aimed to be printed. Okay, so that's what it's aiming for. It's aiming to lay a page out for you. It can cope with multiple pages and all those things in the way that Power BI just can't. So it is a premium feature. Okay, so you do need to have a premium workspace, but premium per user workspace will work just fine, and that's what we're going to be using today. So I'm Laura GB. I'm active on Twitter. I'm active on LinkedIn. Reach out to me there. I will be putting links up that I'm sharing today on Twitter as soon as this session is finished. So let me just on the wrong tab, of course. So they are updating Report Builder as we on not too often, but it's not quite as Power BI level every month. But they're putting in some updates and it's getting a little bit more love. You can now get it in the Microsoft Store, which you couldn't before. Okay, so there is an update to the things that have happened in June. Okay, and so let's go and move straight on to working inside Report Builder. So you're going to have to download Report Builder, and it is for anybody that for me, I never used SSRS. Okay, so that's not my background. I came from the Excel Access and all those other horrible things that we built reports in, and Crystal reports and all those kind of things. So that's the way I came into reporting. And boy, does this feel like I'm back in Access. But hey, it's getting there. So what I have here is Report Builder. I have already built a template. It takes 5-10 minutes to build. Okay, but we've only got 10 minutes, so therefore we're not doing it today because it's boring. But over Christmas, I did 12 days of Paginated Reports, and my very first one builds this template with a different icon. It's got Christmas stocking, but today we're doing plant sales, so it's the same trick. Okay. You've got to do, there's a number of stages to build a report. The first thing we've got to do is we've got to add a data source. So over here, there's a data source. So that's the way we used to do it, was a right click and onto here. But now we've got this new data tab, and that gives you access, shows the kind of data you can connect to. So I'm going to go to Azure SQL database. I'm going to call this plant sales, and hopefully my laptop's going to go slightly faster than that. And it's an Azure SQL Service, and then we're going to build the connection string. Okay, so my server, let's just do some copying and pasting in here. My authentication, I'm going to do SQL Server, but you could do according to what you've got set up for your SQL Server. Okay, and I'm just going to put in some parts into here, save my database, and then I can pick up my sometimes this drop down doesn't work if you don't have enough access to your database, so but you can copy and paste in the name of the database into here. So we're going to go for plant sales, and I'm going to click OK. So it builds up your connection string for you there, and then we click OK. And so that gets me into here. Oh, it immediately jumps me into building a data set. That's the difference. You should never update your software just before you do a demo, okay, guys? If it doesn't pop up that data set part for you, it's trying to be helpful. What I've normally said is there's my plant sales, and then I'll do a right click on here to add a data set. You can have multiple sources coming in, okay? So I'm going to go add a data set, and it puts you in the same window, right? Order totals, and on my data source there, I'm going to go for my plant sales. Now into here, for all you guys that will happily write lots of SQL, etc., 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 you can put in just a straight query. You can write it, press the FX button and go and write it. For those who are doing report writing and you're not coming from that side, okay, there is a query designer. So I'm just going to quickly go into there. And you can do all your tables. I mean, this is a really small database. And as I always tell everybody, if you can do it as a query, please do things as a query. So we're going to go for, as this really simple report we're going to do today, we're going to go for our order totals. Okay. And I'm going to click OK into here. Now you can, if you've brought in lots of tables, so I'm just quickly go back into query design for a second. You can have it that it will do relationships and everything for you. If you've brought in multiple tables and set up relationships, it will auto detect for you, or you can set them up. But at the end of the day, it just writes some SQL for you. If you are connecting to a Power BI dataset, it writes DAX for you. We then click OK. And we're then going to do some really simple parts. Now, so part of the template was to bring in some standard fields that I can drag and drop onto here. They all come under the built-in fields. So I put in a page number, and this expression down here is to do with the data publishing or the data ran it. Okay, so we're going to do a really simple little table. So let me put in, if you go to insert, there's a table. Now you can either go for the table wizard or you can just go for insert table. Let's go for the wizard because, hey, we're dealing with, we're doing a short demo here. So I click on order totals and I click next, and then I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to highlight them all and I'm just going to drag and drop them. Now you can have column groups and row groups, and it will try and guess what it's doing. Okay, summing the order number, it won't do anything because it's only be one. It's going to be one row per order, and I've got the total there. And then we're going to click next. There's a little thing of my table, and I'm going to, if I put totals in, you could have done things with showing subtotals, etc., etc. And we've done that, and then I'm going to press finish. Now, paginated reports get known as the pixel perfect reports, and one of the reasons why is, yes, you can drag and drop things around it. You don't have a good selection pane like you do in Power BI, so actually picking things up sometimes is hard. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to position that one by typing in values over on the properties on the right hand side. So we're going to scroll down, and there is a position and a location on the right here. And there we are. It says left is at 0.254, i.e. 1/10 of an inch, because hey, consistency would be great. 1.5 centimeter. No, I'm sorry, that's going to be 0, so it's on the left. Now I happen to know that the very top, the height of this part at the top here is 1.5 centimeters. And when I've had to do these on clients, I've always come up with a standard, and we've just always turned around and said headers will always be this tall, etc., etc., and that works for most people. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have a quick preview of that just to check it worked. And there we go, we get a preview. Let's put that into print layout so you'll see what it looks like on a page. So there we are, it's on a page. The company needs to be wider. The dates are appallingly laid out. Interestingly, American, I think. Yep, they're American. And I haven't got a currency or 2 decimal places on my total. Okay, so there's some quick things I want to sort out. So I'm going to come back into here. We're going to fix some of them. So if I click into the table, you get these bars around the outside, which means you can do the let's make things wider. Don't make your things go wider than your set page. So my template includes a page width that fits on a page, fits on A4. Okay, so that company also needs to be left aligned. That's the order number, that's going to work. That's going to work. My order date, let's just do some nice tidying in here. And that delivery date, Vaguely presentable. Okay, that needs to be a little bit wider to work if I'm going to do that. Please, just go a bit wider. Go that way. Oh, no, that's making that one wider. Okay, we'll do this. See, but you could have done that doing measuring up how big you want them to all be. So do spend the time making sure that it's correct, because you will notice when people print it. Okay. Then we had some issues with our dates. So if I click on there, you see there's two ways of clicking things in cells. There's one which picks the whole cell. So if I click on the outside, that's the whole cell, and that one picks the field inside that cell. So picking the field, I do a right click. It's called a placeholder. So I get placeholder properties. And in typical Microsoft fashion, there is the number tab, and I can choose what kind of formatting it's going to be. So let's go for it being a date. That'll do fine. And then let's click OK. And let's do the same to delivery. And then let's do the same to the sum total there. And what we're going to do onto that one is we're going to go for the number, and let's make it currency. And we're in the UK. Well, I'm in the UK. And then we're going to click OK. Actually, I've just realised what I missed on that one. My apologies. Let's come back into here and let's just do one thing. Let's just tick the box, use the 1000 separator. Okay, and decimal places 2. That'll do. And let's do a run. So there we are. We've got ourselves a report. Okay, there's a few things wrong with it that I really want to. Oh my goodness, then those delivery dates are really not plain ball as format. We'll publish it and see if it works better formatted. But there we go. Interestingly, we haven't got a thing at the top here, and I haven't saved the report yet. But you can see down the bottom here, I've got a page number, and I've got 11th of June. So hopefully, if time goes okay, I'm going to go for being able to. How am I doing on time?
You got like 1 more minute.
I've got 1 more minute. Cool. I talk too much. So we're going to go back. So I'm just going to do the final part. So there's all sorts of things about sorting. By the way, go and have a look at my videos. They'll show you how to do all the sorting part. But the thing we ought to do is I'm just going to, that's the wrong thing. I shouldn't have pressed save, but never mind. We're going to go and publish it. Because, hey, we should do that and just prove it works in the Power BI service. And I am going to go for data minutes. And I'm going to call it plant sales. That'll do. It's got a lowercase p. I've only got a minute. And we're going to go to publish. There we go. It's published. And if I go back to here and just to wait for that to just refresh, while there we are, it's uploaded. And when you go to run it, okay, it runs fresh. So it gets, and when anybody runs this report, it gets the data now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to quickly fix that. I'm going to come into here and I go to settings. That is not what I wanted. You have to put credentials in here. And I am going to go for, have they changed something on here? Let's just try running it again and see if it'll give me the right link. While that's loading, I pulled together all the resources for Paginated Reports. So that link I will put out on Twitter, and I'll also throw into chat. And in here, you've got there's my 12 videos. There's where to load it from. Paginated Reports in a Day is an awesome course, but please drink lots of caffeine or something to keep yourself going, because it's a big, long day. I did it over 3 days. Chris Finlan, he's the owner of Paginated Reports in Microsoft. Paul Turley is amazing and does amazing stuff, as Guy in the Cube does. And Next Step BI is a lovely, lovely blog that includes some Paginated Report stuff. Could not connect to data source. I cannot tell why. My apologies. I can't work out what's gone wrong.